NASCAR has been around for 71 years, and in that 71-year period, 32 different drivers have won the Cup Series championship, with 15 drivers repeating as the champion. Fans today continue to talk about those champions, such as Petty, Pearson, Earnhardt, Gordon, Johnson, and much more. But what about the one champion no one talks about? That's right, there is a champion that no one talks about. This is the story of NASCAR's most forgotten champion, Bill Rexford. Born on March 14, 1927, in Conewago Valley, New York, Rexford worked at a Chevrolet dealership that was owned by his father Kermit in the early 1940s. Along with working at his father's dealership, Bill would compete in jalopy races at local short tracks. After getting his start at the Pennyroyal Speedway, Rexford would enlist in the United States Navy and serve for 2 years. Following his return from the Navy, Rexford's talents behind the wheel was soon noticed by Ed Otto, one of the founding members of NASCAR. During NASCAR's inaugural season in 1949, Rexford teamed up with car dealer Julian Busink to drive the number 59 Ford. Rexford's first start came in the fourth race of the season at Langhorne, where he started 23rd out of 45 cars and finished 14th. Bill, however, would show his true potential in his third career start at the Heidelberg Speedway, where he would finish third to future champion Lee Petty. Rexford would finish 12th in the 1949 standings, with Red Byron bringing home NASCAR's first championship. Rexford would also get 2 top 5s in NASCAR's first season in 1949. The 1950 NASCAR season commenced, and Rexford would return to drive for Busink in his renumbered 60 Oldsmobile 88. The season did not start off well for Rexford, though. He finished 23rd out of 41 cars at the Daytona Beach course. Rexford's performance would improve in the second race of the season at Charlotte, where he would finish 13th. However, at the fifth race of the season at Canfield Speedway, Bill would run the best race of his entire career. On May 30th, 1950, NASCAR was at the Canfield Speedway for the Poor Man's 500. Canfield is a half-mile dirt oval located in Canfield, Ohio, as part of the Canfield Fairgrounds. 29 cars started the race with Curtis Turner, who started third, leading the first 120 laps. Rexford would take the lead on lap 121, and Turner would fall out of the race on lap 133 due to a blown engine. Rexford would lead the remaining 80 laps to capture his first career Grand National Series win. Glenn Dunway would finish second, and Lloyd Moore would finish third. This win would also turn out to be Rexford's only win in NASCAR. Rexford would have 3 good finishes in the next 3 races. He would get a 6th place finish at the Vernon Fairgrounds, 10th at Dayton Speedway, and 5th at Monroe County Fairgrounds. 5 races later, the 13th race of the year, NASCAR would make its very first trip to Darlington. Bill started 23rd out of 75 cars. That's right, 75 cars entered that race. Bill would finish 4th behind defending series champion Red Byron, championship contender Fireball Roberts, and first-time winner Johnny Mance. As the season continued and Rexford's performance continued to show, 2 championship contenders, Fireball Roberts and Curtis Turner, started to go through mid-season slumps, allowing Bill to get involved in the championship hunt. In the second-to-last race of the season at Winchester Speedway, Rexford would finish third to Lloyd Moore. Moore was driving a second car for car owner Busink. This would turn out to be Moore's only win in NASCAR and Busink's final win as a car owner. Heading into the final race of the season at Hillsborough, more controversial problems continued to happen to championship contender Lee Petty. Petty was found to be competing in non-NASCAR sanctioned races and was stripped of 809 points, eliminating him from the championship hunt. This left Bill Rexford and Fireball Roberts to compete for the championship. As the green flag dropped, Rexford was out early as he would blow his engine on lap 24. With Rexford out, all Roberts had to do to win the title was get a top 5 finish. Roberts would lead 126 laps while battling Fonty Flock for the lead. Roberts battled Flock so aggressively that he too would blow his engine. This was enough for Rexford to capture his first and only Grand National Series championship. This was Busink's only championship as a car owner. So that was it. The season was over. Bill Rexford was a NASCAR champion, but his journey didn't end there. Bill would compete in 11 races in 1951. He drove 8 races for Busink, 1 race for Perry Smith, and 2 for George Hartley. Comparing his performance from 1950 to 1951, Rexford did not do all that well. He would start the season off with a 13th place finish at Daytona Beach. Bill would continue to get mid-pack finishes. In 5 races, Bill would get 1 top 25 finish, 2 top 20s, and 2 top 15s. At the 9th race of the year at Canfield, the same race Bill won the year before, Bill would get his only pole in NASCAR. During the race, Bill was involved in a serious accident when he lost control of his car and went over the guardrail. Rexford would suffer minor chest injuries in the wreck, and this wreck would pretty much end Rexford's Grand National career, as he would only get one top 10 finish in 1951 with a 6th place finish at Rochester. Between 1952 and 1953, Rexford made only 5 starts, 4 starts for Buse Inc., and 1 for Jim B. Copperhart. In that 5-race span, Bill got 3 top 10s, with his worst finish being 36th at Detroit. Rexford's final Grand National Series start came in the 19th race of the 1953 season at Rochester, where he finished 5th. Bill's career in NASCAR was officially over. He competed in 36 races over 5 years, scoring 1 win, 8 top 5s, 17 top 10s, 1 pole, and 1 championship. But that wasn't the end of racing for Rexford. Shortly after leaving NASCAR, Rexford started competing in the Midwest Auto Racing Club, also known as MARC, which would also later be known as the ARCA Menard Series. In his first 3 years in the MARC Series, Bill would stay in the top 10 in points. He drove for several car owners. After competing for his first 2 owners, his replacement drivers were killed. Those accidents changed his whole perspective in auto racing, and Rexford officially retired from racing. During his racing career, Rexford would meet his future wife, Peggy. After Rexford retired, they would relocate to Arizona, where the 2 of them started a trucking business. In 1987, Bill's love for NASCAR returned, as he and Peggy attended a NASCAR show in Atlanta. For each champion who was in attendance, officials attempted to secure the car that each champion driver drove. Sadly, there were no Oldsmobile 88s on hand, so Bill and Peggy toured in a Hudson Hornet. Soon after, TNN would interview Rexford at the Phoenix International Speedway. Here's a clip I found of the interview.
Our guest right here is a man who has seen as much auto racing as anybody we could find at this track or any other one. His name's Bill Rexford, and Bill was the 2nd Winston Cup champ back in 1950. Lots of things have changed in 40 years, 41 years.
Yeah, they sure have.
Well, you're still hanging around at the racetracks then, though, huh?
Well, occasionally I go out. I was down in Atlanta 2 or 3 years, about 4 years ago, and occasionally I get out to a track, but I enjoy it.
If you won the 2nd Winston Cup champion, who won the first?
Red Byron won the first NASCAR National Championship in 1949.
You raced with a lot of greats. Remember Fireball Roberts, one of my favorites?
Oh, yeah, I beat Fireball out by, I think, 12 or 14 points or something like that for the championship, and we were both sitting still in 1950.
What kind of car were you driving?
Mostly Oldsmobile 88s in those days.
Big rockets.
Yeah, that was when they first came out. 48 or 49, yeah.
Wow.
Not as many races during the course of a season in 1950, was there?
Oh, yeah, we used to run, well, back when I won the national championship, I think they even counted the modified races points for that, too. But we used to run 3 or 4 days a week.
After starting his trucking business, Bill and his family would relocate to California. After several months of battling an illness, Bill Rexford passed away at his home in California on April 18th, 1994, at the age of 67. After his death, Rexford was inducted into the New York State Auto Racing Hall of Fame, the Friends of Auto Racing Hall of Fame, and the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame. 70 years after his championship, Rexford is still the youngest champion in NASCAR Cup Series history. He was 23 when he won the championship. He was the only Northeastern driver to win the championship until Martin Truex Jr. won it in 2017, and at the time was the only non-Southerner to win it until Rusty Wallace in 1989. Bill was not included as one of NASCAR's 50 greatest drivers in 1998, and was the only champion not on that list. At the time of this video being uploaded, Rexford is one of 2 champions to not be nominated for the NASCAR Hall of Fame, the other champion being Matt Kenseth. In my opinion, it's a shame Bill Rexford is nearly forgotten in NASCAR. I believe he deserves more recognition for what he's done in racing. I mean, the guy won the highest championship that NASCAR has to offer, and only got 1 win in his entire career. Yes, he wasn't the best, or one of the best. He didn't win a lot of races, but he was consistent from time to time. Being from New York and having lived here all my life, I must say I'm proud of what Bill Rexford has accomplished. He's a hero of mine, and an idol. So right here, right now, I want to say thank you to Bill Rexford for being a NASCAR driver. Thank you for being a champion. And most importantly, Bill Rexford, thank you for being you.